Okay. Close that. Open up my channel. Over here. Like that. Open this. Alright. Do. 8:30, that's not the right one. That's also not the right one. There we go. There. Alright. Now. I didn't grab the URL because I'm dumb. Gotta have the people here though. Channel. Alright. I think this actually got through. Let's see. Okay, neat. Oh, this actually started without too many issues. Got some people in. Yeah, so, let me pull up my PowerPoint. Make sure that's working right. Pull it up over here. That. Oh, I meant to get my shirt, but whatever. Okay. So, make sure my kit not at Microsoft Store. I don't want am not using Microsoft Store. So, welcome to class, I guess. Make sure the 270. Cool. As always, I have major technical difficulties with my first class, which are, well, not fixed for my second class, but I usually have a workaround by the second class. So, hey, we didn't get started 10 minutes late like my first class did. Hopefully by Thursday, when we actually get a proper class started, things will be okay. So, for any of you who have tried to log into the portal today, you might know that the portal's screwed. I actually had a student email me. It's like, hey, I just got to the portal and got the email. It's like, yeah, sorry, portal's being dumb. I haven't been able to get into the portal at all today, so. Luckily, I've got Outlook open just all the time by itself, so um, I just like it's not been closed down since I probably started last fall. Anyway, we'll talk about the class, and then I'll go over the syllabus and briefly talk about the book. This is not what your book will look like. Don't worry about it. It is the name of the book. This is like the first edition, I think. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments at any time. I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can. Which is to say, I'll get to them as soon as I see them. I hope it's just a matter of me being distracted. So, assuming I didn't get my times mixed up, because nobody in my previous class actually commented, this should be the American History course. Hopefully I didn't get those two mixed up. But, considering the other class has fewer people, and the second class usually has more, I think this is right. Anyway, this is American History until 1877. So from the start-ish until a little bit after the Civil War. I don't know if we're going to get all the way to 1877, because that's like Reconstruction. I think we'll get to the end of the Civil War. So 1865-ish. Anyway, what do you want, you fat cat? Also, I have two cats that are just assholes and wander around. So as long as we're online, I'm going to be getting interrupted. What? Fine. It's like I've got children. Anyway, right. So I am Professor Holt, Mr. Holt, Riley Holt, Riley. I don't care. Not Dr. Holt, because I haven't gotten that degree yet, if ever. I haven't quite earned that, so I don't want to get tarred and feathered by the professors who have. So, some of this, for those of you that are awake and paying attention, you may have noticed I've got a poor sense of humor. Sarcastic, which kind of ties into the top one, but, you know, I'm not going to put those in the same category. You'll occasionally get some language out of me. I'm not going to go off onto expletive-ridden tirades, but it'll slip. So that's only there because I literally had a middle-aged student like complain, not about me, but like I was showing a video about something and there were some F-bombs, and she's like, I just can't handle this language. It's like, I'm sorry? She actually went to my supervisor and complained. Like, I'll warn people in advance next time? So there you go. You've been warned in advance. Also, I'm going to make terrible references. There's going to be a lot today. Just FYI. Also, sleep deprivation, which happened to not last night. I get worse nerves before the first day of class since I started teaching than I did back when I was a student. I don't know. It's weird. It's dumb because like I've been teaching for 5 years now, 6 years now. I mean, I feel like I'll be pretty decent at it. I've been teaching almost as long as I had been a student, but no, still get nervous. Anyway, no, you go away. Um, but yeah, I'm just an idiot. I'm a nerd. I like my sci-fi. I've got my idiot animals. Um, I need to get rid of that night shift security. I got rid of that. But I still am I have no good sleep schedule. Um, but I will do my best to help you guys out. But you do have to meet me halfway. Um, come to class, stay awake. You ought to be all right. But at the same time, like, this isn't gonna be something where, oh well, I don't have to come to class and I'll make an A. It'll be fun. Like, you guys need to put forth some effort. Make an effort, but at the same time, I'm not gonna treat this like, oh well, this is their only class, and I'm gonna give them hours and hours of homework. There was one class I took. It was probably chemistry. Now, I'm biased against chemistry because it absolutely kicked my butt. But it was like, for every hour of class, you need to study outside of class for 3 hours. It's like, how? I've got like 4 other classes this semester, you monster. Yeah. Anyway. What the fuck? I wasn't supposed to do that. Wow, I completely broke the way that was supposed to be set up. Well, okay, so the way history is defined, originally, I Frankensteined this last night, and I guess I didn't get the formatting proper. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, I'm so dumb. So, for a lot of people, history is, your dates, names, battles, treaties. But I was taught that it is a series of questions: your who, what, where, when, and then your why and how. Now, originally, this was set up for a different class. It was like Napoleon. It's like, okay, Napoleon ain't gonna really work for this class. So let's talk about the War of 1812. So the War of 1812. All right. So who? Well, who would be countries? So America and Britain. Cool. What happened? Well, they had the war. Cool. Where? Well, America, the U.S. and Canada. I guess also the Atlantic. We'll talk more about that. When? 1812? We'll assume. Well, why and how? The why is more important than the how, I guess. The how was they had a war. But the why, you got the British impounding American vessels, there was the sovereignty of the seas, there were border issues, this whole imperialism thing. 1812 was after Napoleon, so there was the Louisiana Purchase of America pushing further west. This idea of the British having some say of, Western North America. Again, Canada being part of Britain and how much America could push north. The whole big thing. So the War of 1812, despite, not really talking much about it in American history besides that it was a war, a lot happened there. The Capitol building got burnt down. That's why we have the White House. The White House was rebuilt, was built after the War of 1812 because the original Capitol building was burned down. The Star Spangled Banner, I believe that it was written during the War of. I think that was written during the War of 1812. Like, it wasn't actually Independence War thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, this is how I was taught to view history. Not names and dates, but events and why they're important. Also, as far as dates, I will tell you when we have very specific ones. Now, I'll also go ahead and tell you I've never actually taught this class before. So I can't really look ahead in the notes and say, hey, here's some stuff we'll be looking forward to. I'm still creating the notes. So we'll get there when we get there. That said, that's how most of my first year and a half to 2 years at Tri-County Tech was just here's a new book, go. Except it was 2 to 3 new books a semester. This is just one. The other class that I just did, I've done almost every year since I started, so no issues there. And at least it's history. Okay, historical lens. This is something that's brought up in my European history book. Well, not European, world history. But I feel like it's necessary for this class as well. Now, I'm using my example from my European history book, but this could still work for us because Napoleon existed during America's time, the early 1800s. So the historical lens, basically, it's what a lot of other history professors would say is the idea of objective versus subjective. So objective is you see something and you only see the facts. You only see, Napoleon did X, Y, Z. He, conquered this, this, and this, and he did that. But we as humans can't be objective because that's not how our brains work. We're subjective. We see things based on our own opinions and biases. And it's not necessarily, that, well, Napoleon was French, therefore he's garbage. Napoleon wasn't French. He was Corsican. We'll get to that if you take that class with me. But more with the historical lens, it's based on your bias from where you are today. So in the Cold War, if we look back at Napoleon and say, oh well, Napoleon was somehow like the communists. That's why he eventually lost. Because if Napoleon lost, then Russia was going to lose. Because during the Cold War, our big concern was Russia. So now, in a day and age when social equality is the big social issue, we look back at Napoleon, or in the case of this particular book, say the colonies, or maybe after the independence movement, or the antebellum era, and say, okay, well, how were women treated in early America? How were not necessarily peasants, but how were the underclass treated? Obviously, how were how are slaves treated? Not well. hell, Tsar Nicholas, no, Tsar Nicholas? I think it was Tsar Nicholas. In Russia freed the serfs before the United States freed the slaves. And Russia is usually supposed to be, the country that's behind on everything. But either way, you look back and you see history, because history doesn't change, but our view as to what we focus on does, and neither's wrong, but the way we view the past is still influenced by the present. And, that's fine, but you still need to recognize that. So, whatever. Um, but again, just we see that history isn't just names and dates. 1776, we signed the Declaration of Independence. Okay, cool. Why? What was going on? What caused it? What was going on around it? Who were the people? Why were they there? What was going on? You know, there was a lot happening. Now, to make another awful reference, why history? Well, it's the backbone of every society. And the liver, and the kidneys. Now, that reference was better when I made it the first time. It's also better when I'm in front of a class. If you get it, cool. If you don't worry about it. What do you want? Oh, I didn't change this reference. Because I talked about the Spanish-American War, and I changed it to the War of 1812. Well, let's talk about the Spanish-American War. That happens after the Civil War, so that's actually in our 102 course. But no, history class in history has gone without someone asking, why do I care? Why do we worried about America and Spain fighting and taking some islands nobody cares about? And we say, well, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And Spain's not really a world player anymore, and America's not imperialistic anymore. Yeah. We learn because it's our legacy. It helps us move forward, and history exists in patterns. Humans work in patterns. And seeing the patterns of people that existed long or not so long ago helps us to avoid mistakes that we've always made. I mean, especially American history isn't that old. I mean, I'm a European historian at heart, and that goes way back. American history, I mean, you can say, well, yeah, Native Americans been around for a while, but Native Americans don't have a written history, and that's what's depressing. Written history in North America only goes so far back as the colonies, and that's not especially old. If you want to talk about America as a country, whoop-de-doo, 200 years, 300 years, so you want to talk about colonies? Okay, well, what about the highlights? American imperialism, World Wars, Cold War, or if we're going to talk about this class specifically, War for Independence, Civil War, etc. Okay, while we talk about all this politics, all this stuff in between, you've got, because we're going to talk about Western expansion, and obviously lots of stuff with the terrible things that's going to be done to Native Americans. Why not just get to the good stuff? Well, to use a strained analogy, be like watching Lord of the Rings, but only the battle scenes, which would be, fun, but no context. Why are they fighting? Who's fighting? What's at stake? Why are they here? Why are there walking trees? And also, I actually don't know a ton about Lord of the Rings, so I can't really go too far with this analogy. So I know the tree ants exist. That's about it. Um, I do know slightly more about Lord of the Rings since making that joke, but not enough for the analogy to make any more sense to me. um, but history still does follow patterns that can't simply be looked at as pop parts. You've got the Age of Exploration, obviously coming over, um, colonizing the lands that were originally inhabited by the natives, fighting between European powers, the various revolutions, because there were multiple revolutions, not just here in North America. My cat's names. Well, my big fat idiot tabby cat is Otto, Otto von Bismarck from European history, because again, I'm a history nerd. And my little black cat, who I think, oh, there you are. Hey, turnhead. And this is Toru. She came with the name. I hope I didn't flash my underwear just then. Meet my Toru. She came with the name. She's my little shadow. Yes, they're always up one butt. No, they're gonna constantly be. They're always gonna be everywhere I am, so it's not completely off topic. Yeah, but it's great. She's stunted, so she's just always small, and then my other one is just fat and massive. Um, let's see. Yeah, our growing pains as a country, pushing west, and then of course our civil war. You back on the couch? It's fine. I've got a second couch behind the one I'm on because I moved in and there was already a couch, and so she's just laying on the second couch because this one isn't good enough for her. To be fair, the other one is more comfortable. So, can history help predict the future? No, but it can help inform us to make the future as good as it can. Avoid mistakes of the past, like a land war in Russia. That's actually that was a history meme before the word meme was a thing. I guess you'd just call it a history inside joke. So much so that I know I saw it in Hearts of Iron 3. It was a loading screen tip. It's like, here's a tip, start a land war in Asia. It's like, no! That's literally like one of the top things in history. It's like, do not start a land war in Asia. Build on past achievements, because it's the foundation of what we have today. And of course, history can be traced by its wars, and war never changes. Because of course I'm gonna do that. And again, if you get it, good for you. If you don't worry about it. And if you really get it, and if you want to be pedantic like me, and be like the men do through the roads they walk, technically isn't for that screenshot, then you really get it. But don't worry about it. Anyway, also, what else? Our to-do list. Come to class. So, if you're here, so the way I do the tests, which I'll talk about a bit more in a minute, So I take the book and I read each section, and then I make the PowerPoints, and then when I make the test, excuse me, I take the PowerPoint and create the test from the PowerPoint. So there will be no surprise questions. Now, if I have any like extra material, which I will make a point of, that might be on the test, but it'll be like, hey, here's some extra stuff that might be important, you guys. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Then, you know, that might be a thing. But I'm not going to be like some professors I've had, not necessarily history professors. I've had a lot of good history professors now I think about it. But where it's like, okay, here's the notes. That's 50% of what you have to learn. The rest of it's in the book. Good luck. Then why are you even here? Yeah, no, that's not how I roll. Also, this whole attendance fallacy thing, we'll talk about that in a minute. Again, it comes from the book, except for some stuff that I'll talk about. So if you read the book, you'll already be ready. But the best thing about it is if you read the book, and again, it won't look exactly like this because this is a super old version. The newer stuff will actually be cheaper because this is out of print. This was like the last one they had. If you read the book and something doesn't quite make sense, you'll at least have it in your head, and then I'll go over it in class. And if it still doesn't click, you'll at least have a more specific question to ask, which I will answer, and hopefully be able to clarify it for you, rather than you hearing it for the first time in class. That said, between me and the 20 of you, I want you to read. I would like you to read. It's beneficial for you to read. But I'm not gonna like, okay, start our class every day, here's a quiz to make sure you read. That's pedantic and excessive. So, hey, if you don't read, you know, it's you're only hurting yourself. But it will be helpful to at least, you know, skim. And look, it's broken down into, here, let me find, that's my RP sheet. Look, it's broken down into very specific like subheadings. Make sure I'm holding that up right. Broken down into subheadings. Important stuff is highlighted, or bolded rather, which I might be able to see that. Which I make a point of when I'm making notes, because I'm trying to make notes, you know, as quickly as I can. So I'm gonna be grabbing the important stuff too. So when you're reading through it, it's like, okay, wars in Old New England, the Pequot War, that's probably important. You know, you don't need to necessarily know every single detail, but the stuff that's important. And then there's like a bunch of documents at the end. I'll tell you, you know, if you need to jump on that. What else? Oh yeah, make sure you do the exams and the papers. I'll get more specific into that in the syllabus, which we have time for. But yeah, if you don't do the exams or the papers, I can grade it, but it'll be a grade you don't want. And please ask questions. If you have any questions, let me know. I mean, we've already had a question, and I'm thrilled with how casual it was. So, yes, if you have a question about my idiot cats or anything, that's cool. That's fine. If you have questions and you don't want to ask them in class, well, okay, first, if you have a question and you don't want to ask it in class, first reconsider, because if you have a question, I'm sure other people do. But if you really don't want to ask it in class, just email me. It's cool. So I try to check my email daily. There's my email. I guess I'm not that new to teaching anymore. I've been doing this for a few years now, but we're working through it. I don't have my, I used to have a dumb joke about being Batman because I work night shift. I don't work night shift anymore, but I'm still essentially nocturnal. You guys should all have my email now because you're here, so you got my email about the URL, so you're here. There's my email again in case you need it. Right, hold it, fmarion.edu. And again, it's just at fmarion.edu, not whatever it is for you guys. You've got that extra letter in front of at g.fmarion.edu. Yeah, for me it's just at fmarion. And I don't remember if I feel like it was just at fmarion when I was a student. I don't remember. I never used my email as a student. I was a bad student. I was a terrible student. And then also, I hope this is still relevant. I think this is still relevant. This weirdo is still, this is still a thing, right? I tried watching this before, and it's just like, they talk about, like, the people built these grand monuments, but what if? Like, no, you just told the thing. I just found it annoying because it's like you can't just give people credit. Okay, good. I just found it annoying because it's like you can't give humans credit for doing the work. Okay, let me pull up the syllabus and we'll go over that real quick. Oh no, that's not right. That one. Okay. I accidentally had the one that was, oops, cancel. Good. There we are. Now, this I very much Frankenstein together, like, last night, so it might be wonky. In fact, I definitely repeat myself at one point because I slapped on an addendum. So, apologies, but I just want to make sure I've got all the stuff together. So, some of this is more harshly worded than what I want it to be, simply because it's someone else's. So there's my email again. In fact, it's on here like 3 times just because. Don't worry about it. So yada da. Here it is again. Course description. Here's our text. So again, exploring American histories, brief survey with sources. Again, I've said it a couple times. This is not what yours will look like. Mine is first edition, as you can see up there. Just because the one that I had before for the next course, post Civil War, is is first edition, and I just wanted them to look the same. I'm OCD like that. This was more expensive. I paid more money just so my books would look alike. I'm dumb like that. But that's just how I roll. Let's see. Is this? She did the weird 100,000 point thing. All right. Don't worry about this weird grading thing. I just do regular 100-point scale. I'm gonna fix that before I post it on Blackboard. Or for yeah. Blah 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 blah. There, it's gone. Please try to show up to class. I'm not actually like grading you for it. She had grades for it, but please show up to class. There will be a midterm paper. Oh, right. There will be a midterm paper. Yeah, I know. It's just because the other ones they completely changed the thing, and I was like, I want them to look the same. Okay, so the papers. First, don't panic, because I know even as a history student, I was like, oh no, papers. In fact, I've literally had nightmares these last couple of weeks that I was a student again and I had a paper due. What? Okay, so the paper's like 2 to 3 pages, double space, super easy. I don't have the topic yet. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's due like middle of the semester. We'll get to it when we get to it. The final paper is due like right at the end of classes. We'll get there. Extra credit options. Those will mostly be on the tests. Now, her stuff was very strict. I parsed it back a bit. If we're back in class, I would like you to hand me the papers physically, please. Because if you send them to me, yes. That's what I plan on doing, just because I might have to go through the notes a little bit quickly, and I don't want to leave anybody behind. So yeah, I'll be putting the notes up on Blackboard. Assuming we're able to get back to physical classes, which I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but maybe I'm biased because my lungs decided to not work throughout most of July. I'd like the papers to be handed to me physically. Obviously, if that doesn't work, just email them to me. We'll talk about that later. If you can't get them to me the day that they're due, they'll be docked 10 points per day that they're late. So just email them to me as soon as you can. Don't handwrite them. I've actually had that happen. Not here at Francis Marion at Tri-County. Now this is to a degree. I'm not going to go through and dock you for every spelling and grammar error, but if it looks like you fell asleep on your keyboard and words happened, then you're not going to get a very good grade. Okay, so the exams, or tests, whatever you want to call them, multiple choice and short answer questions, if we're able to meet in person. If it's online, there'll be short essay questions. So, the multiple choice, that's pretty simple. 4 questions, you choose the correct one. The short answer ones are literally going to be one-word answers. It's going to be like the multiple choice, except you just give me excuse me, you just give me the answer, because I don't know why that's there. I told you I had to Frankenstein this. Yeah. So the short answers are not essays. They're like, who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Like easy crap like that. I almost said a bad word. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Now if it's online stuff, it will be longer essays, but like a couple of paragraphs, not papers. But more, hey, here's a topic, give me what you think about it. So it'll be, something like that. If it comes to that, I'll discuss it in greater detail. I promise. I won't, I won't drop that on you. I swear. And for the final exam, it's going to be treated just like the other ones. Which is to say, if we're meeting in person, it'll be multiple choice, short answers. If it's online, it'll be the essays. Also, it's not cumulative, so it's just going to be on whatever is left after the third test. And it's going to be weighed the same as all the other ones. So if you do really well on your other tests and then you crap out on the final exam, it's not going to fail you. That said, I can't drop the final exam, but if your final exam is your lowest grade, I'll just not drop anything else, and then everything will be weighed less, and it'll kind of help buoy it. That said, I actually meant to bring this up earlier. So, we have 2 papers, 3 tests, and a final exam. So that's 6 grades total. Well, I can't drop the final exam. So 5 grades that I can pull from. They're all weighed the same, and I'll drop the lowest one. So if you do really well in your 3 tests, and you do that first paper and you make well on it, you can technically just not do the last paper if you feel like it. Which means at the end of the semester, when you've got a bunch of other stuff coming in, you can just not worry about it. Which A, is easier on you, B, is easier on me. Or if you do everything, and maybe you don't do so well on the final exam, like I said, I won't drop anything, and then it'll be out of 6 rather than out of 5, so they'll all be weighed less, and it'll help boost your grade. I'll do whatever is better for you guys. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that I'm saying everything that needs to be said, because I just did this like an hour ago. Behave, courtesy, blah blah blah. Don't plagiarize. Academic accommodations. Addendum. Okay, now this is something that I had to do. Actually, I'll probably pull this up. This is something I had to do for Tri-County, so it's a little bit extra. Yeah, so I don't really have an office or office hours, so just let me know if you want to meet with me, I guess. Why is it 14 font? Good God. Again, there's my email. There's the grades again, just an easier format. Exams. No makeup exams, so I'll just replace your lowest. Let's see, not comprehensive. So your 2 essays, and that'll be posted on Blackboard. Don't plagiarize, please. Let's see. Oh, also, if you do need to email me stuff, if you do have to email me stuff, um, please, for the love of God, send it to me via Word document. I had a bunch of weird stuff uh, last last year. Um, like PDF documents are fine, but I don't not great. Some of them were like shared Google Docs, which no, don't do that. Just take the Word document and attach it to the email. Just do that. Just do that. Let's see. Oh, that's not right. That's my old Tri-County Tech. I knew I was going to do that and get something wrong. Boop. Grade levels. Also, yeah, I'll do my best to get your papers back as quickly as I can. Also, if you, yeah, hand it to me physically if you can. Because a lot of times it's like, oh, well, I sent you my paper, or maybe it didn't get through. And, you know, try to pretend like that happened. Stuff gets weird because of technology, plain and simple. So, if you can, get it to me physically. But here we are talking about it online. Obviously, if it's not possible, it's not possible. Whatever. If we are, wait, no, sorry, I got that wrong. If you do email it to me and we're meeting though, you know, but if you can't get it printed out, that's fine. I understand. I will still print it out, grade it, and hand it back to you because that's just how I do it. I've had students be like, I never printed this out. It's like, yeah, I printed it out and graded it. Here's it back. But I'll keep it with me. And that's it. This is a longer because I had the addendum thing. Okay. Sorry, that got longer winded than I meant for it to be. My sleepiness caught up with me, and I got a little loopy there. Okay, so I hope I didn't just start babbling there at the end. Did we understand most of that? The papers and the exams and stuff, I will talk about as we get closer to them, so you don't really need to worry about it too much right now. Like, that stuff's in the future. The exams are after 3 chapters. The first paper isn't until like the middle of the semester. The second paper is at the end of the semester. That will not be a surprise, either of them, I promise. I'm going to look ahead and decide, you know, what I want the first paper to be on. I'll get that to you, you know, in a couple of weeks. It'll be fine. That said, actually, I'll tell you this right now. Both papers, there will be a default topic, like the first one. No, that's not right. Because the first one's gonna have to be something really early. Shoot. Okay, I don't know what the first one might be yet. I don't know. Spanish gold. I don't know. Something broad. There will be a default topic. If you can't think of it, that you can choose from. But if you want to do something else, you're welcome to. If you want to do something else, you know, in North America, in this time period, cool. Just let me know. because if it's something that you're specifically more interested in, you're going to be more interested in writing it, and therefore it's going to be better paper, and I'm going to be more interested in reading it, and therefore you're going to get a better grade. Than if it's something you're going to be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll write about this, and it's boring and annoying, and nah, I'll just get it done. Not saying that you can't pull something decent out of that, but nobody's gonna be having fun. And I personally, like I wrote like a 30-page paper on freaking zeppelins, and that was fun. Um, Back in grad school. This is 2 to 3 pages. Don't worry about that. So yeah, just putting that forward now. If you want to start brainstorming, there's something in this time period that you really like, go ahead and start thinking about it if you want. If you don't worry about it. That's all I got. We're done a little bit early. I don't think we'll ever run all the way to 11:15 because I don't want to do that. But this is just the intro day. Thursday we'll start with the first chapter. Go away. Wow. Jeez. There's so much dumb stuff happening. I appreciate y'all commenting. Nobody commented in my first class. I was making sure like they could even hear me. But yeah, so unless there's any more questions, I'll see you guys on Thursday, and we'll get this class started in earnest. So I'm gonna drink some water because I've been talking for 3 hours. All right. Y'all take care. Also, yes, any assignments will be on Blackboards. Right now, nothing's on Blackboard. I'll put the syllabi up on Blackboard probably over the weekend to make sure that they're behaving. But yes, as far as pastimes, Lord, well, the laptop that I'm recording off of is a gaming laptop. I like my games. Lord, lots of different types of games. I've been messing with the Iron Harvest beta, which is a really goofy, like, what if World War I was crazy diesel punk robots? Yes, Skyrim. Skyrim is always fun. There's nothing not fun about Skyrim. I recently am doing a stupid like necromancer build. Space Station 13. If you've never heard of it, find it on YouTube. It's stupid and amazing. I haven't messed much with Fortnite. I don't do a lot of multiplayer stuff. I like kind of doing my own thing. Space Station 13 is kind of my only multiplayer, and that's because it's unique. It's hard to explain. Again, if you kind of need to find it and look at it, it's weird. It does its own thing. Look up Black Pants Legion, Space Station 13 if you wanna look at that. I'm actually in the Legion now. What do you know? I mean, I do shooters. I'm not poo-pooing on Fortnite, but that's a little too chaotic for my blood. But PC for me. I like my my mousy, blame myself, my mousy shooty time. Um, Metro, Fallout, Doom. I had Doom 2016. I played recently. What else did I have? Oh, was Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, obviously. You know, lots of different stuff. Oh God, Cuphead's too much for me. No, I can't do I'm bad at platformers and bullet hell games, and that's like, oh, this is super hard. Like, I get stressed out watching it. Are you kidding? Oh, it's terrible. Now it's getting hot in here. The sun's coming in the window. Bullet hells are so stressful. I mean, they're amazing to watch, but like, Enter the Gungeon. I love watching it. I mean, it's impressive to watch. I'll give you that. Also, Eevee, second best Pokemon, only because Arcanine is like the fluffiest boy. But Eevee's right up there. But Arcanine is so adorable and fluffy. Yeah, I saw Eevee Master has subscribed. I'm like, I respect that. Was there anything else that I could think of? Oh, that goofy Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, those Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, like, absolutely. I don't actually know that one. I'm super old school, like Gen 1, Gen 2 is about as far as I got. I'm terrible. I know the evolutions in the newer ones, that's about it. I'm awful. Um but those new Lord of the Ring games, Shadow of whatever. Those are actually very enjoyable. But yeah, that's my nerd talk. And oh no, he's not laying on the middle of the kitchen anymore. My big goofy cat. Oh, anime. It's been a while since I've watched anything new. Because I grew up in the '90s and early 2000s. Um, classic Cowboy Bebop, the original DBZ, old DBZ, Gundam Wing, Yu Yu Hakusho. I was kind of falling off of it by the time Naruto and One Piece started, so that's kind of where I ended. Also, because One Piece was like obviously gonna be forever long, I'm like, I'm done here. Who's messaging me? Oh, what do we got? What? And I've got a couple of online friends and through them I've seen Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which was adorable. And rewatched Cardcaptor Sakura. I have seen Sword Art Online. It's like, this is all the tropes. This is just all the tropes together at the same time. Dragon Maid, it is so cute. It is so cute. It's like, all of it is adorable. I love how they had freaking, I don't remember his name. The male dragon, where he's like, I have to do Dark Souls. JoJo, I need to. Fafnir, that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, Fafnir the technically, like, in the lore, Fafnir was a dwarf that was uh so greedy he became a dragon. And that's why that's why he kept getting caught by the mimics, because he sees a treasure chest and he has to go for it. Like, that was the joke. Um, yeah, Elma's great. It's like, I'm a dragon that I have to return order to the world. Here, take this food and leave. Okay. Ah, so good. And they're working on a season 2. So, I guess is the proper response. Yeah, my friend that that like that essentially bullied me into it, which that's kind of our relationship. Is she bullies me into stuff, but it's kind enough. Um, she found out about it, like, freaking out, so that was fun. Oh, speaking of season twos, uh, and anime, um, I watched Inuyasha back in the day. I never finished it because there was a whole lot of, like, nothing happening, and then I just got tired and didn't watch it. Um, uh, Apparently they're doing a sequel now, like Inuyasha's kid and Shisomaru's kids. So that might be interesting. I'm glad they didn't forget about the best character in the show, the big brother. Alright, y'all take care. It's not the best anime, honestly. It's very of its time. Um, like the original Dragon Ball Z, where nothing happens for many, many episodes. The pacing is awful, honestly. And then they fight a thing, and then it really had nothing to do with the main plot, but it took like 6 episodes. It's like, Jesus, y'all. Get it together. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why I've just not watched anything, because there's so much stuff I need to watch, like Konosuba, um, jeez, there's just a ton of them. Demon Slayer, it looks good. Hunter x Hunter, because I like Yu Yu Hakusho. I've still not seen My Hero Academia, but I've heard good things about it. I've still not seen One Punch Man. I've heard good things about it. Konosuba, yeah. Um, uh, I've only seen a little bit of uh, Goblin Slayer. I've actually read a bit of the manga. It's dark. Um, Princess Connect looks adorable. My friend that bullied me into watching Dragon Maid is watching this volleyball anime, and she will not make me watch that. There's just too much. Yes, that's it. Hockey, that's it. Yeah, yeah. She talks about it all the time. She never actually said the name of it, but then I got an ad for it on YouTube, and I got angry because I knew that's what it was. I was like, I've got an ad for your stupid anime on my Facebook. How dare you? Uh, yeah. She's seen it like 4 or 5 times. She just, yeah, she just binges it at random. She's one of my like two friends, and we just communicate through Discord and just like shit post at each other. Oh, and what was that other one that she's been watching? Um, uh, Love is War. What's the Japanese? Oh God, I forgot that I posted those awful things. In the BPL, they posted a bunch of yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, she also goes on about Love is War because that's apparently, oh, not technically anime, but holy crap, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, that's something that needs to be binged a bunch. That is such a good show. It's not technically anime because it's, American, but damn, good stuff. Yeah, Korra Korra's is a step down. I still like it. My friend is very, very critical of it. I still enjoy it. Here we go. Yeah, Love is War. Did she put the whole episode up? Oh no, there it is. Go a bit further. Yeah, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Okay, I think I'm gonna be calling this to a close. Uh, my my friend is, I guess, just getting up. Oh no, she's been awake since 10 o'clock. But my stream is. All right. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Although, truth be told, if we do manage to get this to happen in class, there's a fair chance that we'll be able to end in class early and just have dumb talks like this normally, because that's how I roll. And what I usually do in class, before classes begin, is I'll find like game music and play it before class. So I might try and do that on Thursday. Anyway, y'all take care. Good talking to you. Be safe. All that good stuff. See you Thursday.